500 years before Columbus, a Viking explorer set sail from Greenland and landed in a new world. His name was Leif Erikson, and this is the story of the true first European in America. Our tale begins around the year 1000. Forget what you think you know about horned helmets, that's a myth. The real Vikings were master shipbuilders, fearless navigators, and relentless explorers. Leif was born into this world of adventure. His father was none other than Eric the Red, the legendary Viking who founded the first European settlement in Greenland after being exiled from Iceland for, let's just say, having a bit of a temper. Growing up in the harsh, icy landscape of Greenland, Leif was raised on stories of distant lands and epic voyages. He was described as a wise, strong, and striking man. It was in his blood to look beyond the horizon. The journey that would change history actually started with another man, a trader named Bjarni Herjolfsson. Bjarni was sailing from Iceland to join his father in Greenland when a vicious storm blew his ship way off course. For days he was lost in a thick fog. When the fog finally lifted, he saw land. But it wasn't the familiar icy mountains of Greenland. It was a coastline covered in forests. Bjarni was a merchant, not an explorer. He was eager to get to Greenland, so he didn't go ashore. He simply described the new lands he had seen and continued on his way. But the stories he told in Greenland lit a fire in Leif Erikson's imagination. Forests in a land west of Greenland? That meant timber, a resource incredibly scarce and valuable in the sparsely wooded Greenland. Leif was intrigued. He bought Bjarni's ship, gathered a crew of about 35 hardy men, and decided to retrace the voyage in reverse to find these mysterious lands for himself. Around the year 1001, Leif and his crew set sail. They didn't have compasses or modern GPS. They navigated by the sun, the stars, and an intimate knowledge of the ocean currents, seabirds, and even the color of the water. It was an incredible feat of skill and bravery. The first land they encountered was a desolate place covered in flat, barren rock slabs. Leif named it Helgeland, which means land of the flat stones. Most historians today believe this was Baffin Island in modern-day Canada. It wasn't very inviting, so they didn't stay long. They continued south. The next land they found was much more promising. It was flat and wooded, with white sandy beaches. The forests were a welcome sight. Leif named this place Markland, meaning forest land. This is thought to be the coast of Labrador. Again, they saw the potential, but Leif felt there was something even better further south. He was right. After 2 more days at sea, they found it, a land of incredible abundance. They sailed into a bay, then up a river that flowed from a lake. The rivers were teeming with salmon, bigger than any they had ever seen in Greenland or Norway. The climate was mild. The grass remained green even into the winter, and there were forests of towering trees. Most excitingly, they discovered wild grapes growing everywhere. Grapes in a northern land. This was unheard of. In a place where wine was a precious and high-status import, finding a land of wild grapes was like striking gold. Overjoyed by their discovery, Leif named this paradise Vinland, or Wineland. They decided to stay for the winter. They built a small settlement with several longhouses, workshops, and shelters for their ship. This wasn't just a brief stop. They were setting up a base. They spent the winter exploring the area, cutting timber and gathering grapes. Life was good, far easier than the brutal winters of Greenland. When spring arrived, they loaded their ship with timber and dried grapes and set sail for home. Leif's return to Greenland was triumphant. The timber he brought back made him wealthy and famous. His stories of Vinland sparked a series of further expeditions by other Norse Greenlanders over the next decade, including his own brothers and sister. His sister, Freydis Eriksdotter, was a formidable figure in her own right, leading her own voyage to Vinland. These subsequent voyages, however, tell a more complex story. The Norse weren't alone in this new world. They encountered native peoples, whom they called Skrallings. Initial interactions were a mix of trade and curiosity, but they quickly soured into conflict. The sagas describe battles and betrayals. The small number of Norse settlers so far from home found themselves unable to establish a permanent, peaceful foothold in the face of a much larger native population. Within about a decade, the Norse dream of a new home in the West was abandoned. The settlements in Vinland were left behind, and the stories faded into legend. For centuries, the tales of Leif Erikson and Vinland were dismissed by many historians as mere folklore, epic poems rather than historical fact. The only evidence was in two Icelandic sagas, the saga of the Greenlanders and the saga of Eric the Red. While compelling, they weren't physical proof. Then everything changed. In 1960, a pair of Norwegian explorers and archaeologists, Helge and Arnstein Ingsted, made a discovery that would rewrite the history books. Guided by the descriptions in the sagas, they were searching the coastline of Newfoundland. At a place called Meadows, at the very northern tip of the island, they found it, the remains of a Viking settlement. Excavations uncovered the foundations of turf-walled longhouses, identical in style to those found in Greenland and Iceland from the same period. They found a forge for smithing iron, with hundreds of iron nails and slag proof of sophisticated European ironworking. They found artifacts like a bronze cloak pin, a bone needle, and a spindle whorl used for spinning yarn. This wasn't a native settlement. Carbon dating placed the site squarely in Leif Erikson's time. Around the year 1000, Meadows was the smoking gun. It was the physical, undeniable proof that Norse Vikings had not only reached North America, but had built a settlement there, 5 centuries before Christopher Columbus was even born. The sagas were true. Leif Erikson wasn't a myth. He was history. Today, Meadows is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to this incredible chapter of human exploration. So why is Columbus so famous while Leif Erikson is often a historical footnote? It comes down to impact. Leif's discovery was a dead end in the grand scheme of things. The Norse settlements didn't last, and the knowledge of their existence faded from the wider European consciousness. When Columbus landed in 1492, his voyage kicked off a permanent, continuous wave of European exploration, conquest, and colonization that irrevocably changed the world. It was a moment with lasting global consequences, for better or for worse. But that doesn't diminish Leif Erikson's achievement. He was a pioneer, a visionary who sailed into the unknown using nothing but his courage and the stars. He represents the pinnacle of Viking seafaring and the unquenchable human thirst for discovery. So the next time you think about the discovery of America, remember the tall, fair-haired Viking who stood on its shores, marveling at a land of wild grapes, 500 years before anyone else. The first chapter of Europeans in America wasn't written in Spanish, but in Old Norse. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories. Let us know in the comments what other historical figures you'd like to see covered. See you next time.